Hello everybody and welcome to our first video for Terra Gaming servers on the different mods available to you and how to use them. Basically, we're just going to be going over a couple different things today on breeding, um, so that way you can be competitive on these servers with other tribes that are going to be doing very similar methods to this, if not the exact same method that I'll be showing you today. So again, welcome. First thing we're going to go over with breeding is obviously you got to have something that you want to breed. So one of the most popular items people like to breed, and I have been working on, is my gigas. So just to go over a few things, you can see we have cloning chambers here. How we usually do this is we tame a male or a female, doesn't really matter. And after we have one tamed, what we're going to do is we are going to either tame another one. If we have one tamed already that has a really good melee stat, what we're going to do is we're going to go tame a low level. The reason we tame a low level is what we do is we clone it to get more. So you can see these are all clones, these low level ones. Super nice because they're cheap to clone, they're fast to clone, and we cloned out a bunch of these. So that way we can breed a bunch of these all at once and give us a higher chance of getting melee mutations, because that's what we're going for. Now, available to you on this server is the awesome Spyglass. I highly recommend it. You can tell that it doesn't actually put anything into your hand. All it does is put up crosshairs. Shows in the top left corner what your latitude and longitude are. Just some helpful things with it. And it also, if you look at a dino, it'll show you its stats. Now you can tell our level 6 gigas obviously don't have good stats, but that doesn't matter because these are our females. We're not trying to get these stats, we're trying to get the male stats. So our male is right here in the center. You can tell by looking at him, he has 58 melee. Now the rest of his stats all look like they should suck because there's only 1 point in each. But what you're going to realize about gigas is they still have 33,000 health at 1 point into health. So their other stats don't actually matter. We're breeding specifically for melee. So what we're going to do is we are allowed to get basically up to 2 mutations per breed per cycle. So those 2 mutations will give you a total of 4 points into a stat. So what that means is we're going to try going from 58 melee today to 62 melee. So in order to do that, we use these things called SS mutators. They create a mutation pulse. That's what the range indicator is that you see out here. You want to make sure, obviously, your dinos are within range of the mutation pulse. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and come up to these. Now I got 2 of them set to do mutations. So you want to make sure it says create mutation pulse, because this one right here is saying create a gender swap pulse. What that does, obviously, it swaps the gender of the dino. And the reason that's important is this one right here, actually, this orange one, our male, used to be a female. I used the gender swap pulse to turn it into a male so I can breed it with our females this cycle. So just keep that in mind that you don't need to hatch out a male. It can be a male or a female, and you can actually swap that over. So let's go ahead and get started. Now I have all the females already enabled mating. We just have not enabled the mating on the male. So what we're going to do, let's go ahead and do our mutation pulse. 1, 8, 2. Okay, so you're going to notice that little radiation symbol. That little radiation symbol is the mutation. You're going to notice it says 2 of 2. That's what you want to see. That means that it has both of the mutation pulses from that it's allowed to have. We're going to look around, make sure they are all mating, which they are. Now, while they're mating, let's talk about another helpful part of this mod. It's got this SS hatchery. Now, it takes eggs and thatch and keratin and a couple other things to be able to make. And what it does is it will actually pick up eggs off the ground for you and then incubate them. Now, right now it's turned off. I will turn it on once the eggs pop out, so that way it picks them up instantly. And they should all pop out right about the same time, so they started breeding about the same time. You can take a look here. We're about 35% mated. So what we're going to do is we're going to let them do their business, and then we will pick up the eggs. And the thing about the mutation pulse and why we have so many females, because I have people ask me all the time, it's not guaranteed to get a melee mutation. So because of that, what we're doing is we're having the most amount of eggs possible. I mean, obviously we could have more if we just kept cloning Gigas. This is my happy number of females, and obviously a really happy male in the middle. And basically, this is going to give us a really good chance of at least one of the eggs popping out with a melee mutation, and that's all we need is just one. Once we have that one pop out with a melee mutation, we actually get rid of the rest of the eggs. I don't even bother hatching them out unless we need Gigas. If we want some Gigas for like pocket Gigas or something like that, we're going to go ahead and keep those. Otherwise, we just throw them out. We don't even use them because we've already got the mutation that we need. There's no sense in over raising a bunch of dinos that we don't need, because we're just going to take this 62 that we're going to get, and we're going to end up putting it in the same situation and mutate it to get a 66. I'm good at math, I promise. Okay, so now that they have all mated, we're going to use another mod called the Soul Trap. This is the Soul Trap gun. It allows you to pick them up, so as long as you have soul traps in your inventory, you can sit here and pick all these guys up, so that way they're not causing lag on the server. The nice part about the soul traps and the soul trap gun and all that is you can see it actually has the cooldown in here. So the mating cooldown is still working inside the little balls. And they'll still get off their mating cooldown being in the ball. So that way you don't have to worry about them being out and causing lag issues on the server. Instead, they're just kind of in your little, this is called a soul terminal, right here. So this is where we keep all of our breeding dinos, is in here, so that way they're not cluttering up the base, they're not causing lag. So we're going to put those all back in there. And then this is the hatchery that we use to actually incubate our eggs, so that way they're not right out in the open for anybody to just come up and yoink on us. So, just to show you a little bit about the hatching process, we'll go ahead and hatch out these trikes. These are tech trikes. Which, by the way, I don't know if you noticed, those were actually tech gigas. Tech gigas aren't a normal creature on Ark. You can get a skin for a tech giga typically. The tech giga itself is not actually a thing, except for on this server we have a mod called the Better Dinos. Better Dinos give you creatures like these tech griffins. They also give you tech gigas. So just keep that in mind. The tech gigas spawn wild at a higher level. Other than that, there's not necessarily an advantage to a tech giga over a normal giga, other than the fact, like I said, they spawn higher levels in the wild, so it just increases your chance of having a better stat. But if you're breeding normal gigas, they're still going to be the same thing. If you're at the same melee point that I'm at with my tech gigas, you'll actually have the same starting melee. It doesn't actually differ at all. So, let's go ahead and take a look at our tech trikes. I came over here to take a look and see what our health is right now. So tech trikes are soakers. We use them for raiding. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at our tech trikes here. We're going to find the male. And you can see our male has 54 health. So what we're breeding for is to get above that 54 health. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. Now the tech trikes hatch out pretty quick. We need our spyglass. We got 54 health. Okay, so we're not even going to claim that one. 4 health. 54. So the health that we're looking for is 58. 54. And this is why we do as many eggs as we do, because like I said, it's never actually guaranteed to get the mutation that you're looking for. This just increases the chance. Right there, see? It took us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It took us like 6 eggs to finally get the 58 health that we want. So we're going to go ahead and Pokeball him up. And then, like I said, the other eggs we actually just completely get rid of. This is an incinerator that just destroys. the eggs. That way we don't got to worry about it anymore. Then we just pull out a Giga and munch them up. Oh man, it doesn't want to fit there. Okay. Bye-bye, other drakes. Now, another helpful part to this mod, we're going to go ahead and throw our tech trike out here. So, right now, it's a baby. Normally, you'd have to sit here and hand feed it berries. Instead, what we have is what's called the SS Nanny. So, the SS Nanny can be powered one of two ways. It can be powered using honey on the giant bee honey, or it can be powered using a tech generator or a wireless generator, which the wireless generator comes in your base kit. So you should be able to power an SS Nanny. Now to make the SS Nanny, it just takes human hair and some other stuff I don't even really know off the top of my head. But what it does is it imprints your nearby non-adult dinos. So that's pretty big. You don't have to worry about imprinting any of your dinos. So that's pretty awesome. And it also gives food to nearby babies that are under 15%. So it's going to feed this guy until it hits 15% maturity. At that point, it will start eating off of our tech trough, and then we no longer have to worry about it. So definitely very helpful, keeps us from having to micromanage our babies, and good to go. Now, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or the admins. I am not an admin. They simply asked me to do this video to be able to help out the server with some of the ways of breeding, and we will be making a few other videos on some of the other things that the server has to offer. But again, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to reach out to me, and we'll take it from there.